Good morning everyone, today is going to be a walkthrough guide for Falz Solus rank 2. The fight itself isn't that difficult, it's just very surprising for the very first time, but once you've seen everything, it is relatively straightforward. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So the very first thing I want to mention is you do need 4,200 battle power or above in order to even access rank 2 of Falz Solus. So it is located in Retem, sign of the Planet Breaker, and now you can see there is a rank 2. Now with that out of the way, the very first thing once the fight starts is you want to run to the back side of the boss. As you can see over here, we are all running towards the back because you want to destroy the back piece first. That is your #1 priority. I do recommend having a ranger so that you can blight round the back because you need to destroy this back piece as soon as possible, as it makes the entire first phase incredibly easy. If you do not destroy this back piece, the first phase becomes pretty annoying as there are going to be a lot of projectiles. So that is your #1 priority, is to always destroy the back piece. Now, as you can see, the boss did a 180-degree turn over here. The reason for this is because whoever has aggro should stand in the front and face the boss head on, while the other 3 players can hit the back piece. However, this is totally optional, it's not that big of a deal, but if you are slightly lower on DPS, it is something that you need to keep in mind, as you want to destroy this back piece before the little pods come down. So you can see over here that we're just going to be DPSing, we just use all the lasers as counters and extra damage. Now this attack right here, you see this orange flow thing? In the original version or in rank 1, you could use this to counter, you can dodge this, you can block this, whatever. In rank 2, this is unavoidable damage. You have to get out of that as it will deal a ton of damage to you. As you can see, we have a lot of damage, so we actually broke the back piece before he even summoned the little pods. So now we just hit the hands while we're just waiting for the pods. Now here comes the pods. So just like in rank 1, you want to destroy all the little pods and then his arm will open up, and then you focus on the arms. So you can see we destroyed those and now his arm is open. So now we need to break this. A great DPS check over here is if you can break it within 1 cycle. That means your DPS is good. So you can see again, this attack comes in, this big orange wave attack. You need to get out of that, as you cannot counter this, you cannot sidestep this, you cannot iframe this. You just have to avoid it altogether or else you will die. Okay? So here again, we're just attacking the yellow opened weak spot, and we need to destroy it before a single phase, before it closes again. All right? So that's basically your first DPS check. If you can destroy it before it closes, it means your DPS is good. If you can't destroy it before it closes, that means your DPS is a little bit lacking as a team. So there we go, we destroyed it and we move on to the next arm. Now on the next arm, it's going to be the exact same thing. We're just going to DPS the hand until he summons the little pods again. We destroy the pods, and then again, this side will open up a weak spot and we break that, and then he will go down. As we can see here, we broke all the pods. Again, weak spot exposed. So we just keep attacking the weak spot. Again, this attack, you need to get out of it because it does a ton of damage since it's unblockable. And once that is broken, he's actually going to go into a break state. So we actually broke him. As you can see, he's broken, but we haven't broken this arm yet. So what you want to do is you want to focus on the arm, because after you break this arm piece, he actually goes into another down state, just like in rank 1. So you're going to see over here that I'm actually going to photon blast this and just continue to deal tons of damage over here. And as you can see right here, once he came out of his break state, he's down immediately again to expose another weak spot. So again, you take full advantage of this and you try to deal as much damage as physically possible. Now regarding your DPS, you can see over here that I'm hovering around 9,000 to 10,000 DPS, and this is with me using Waker subclass and just building incredibly tanky. Now the reason why I was running Waker subclass and why I was built so defensively was because I was not familiar with the fight. This was like my second run, I believe, so I wasn't very familiar with what was going on, so I just built super defensive so that I can make a ton of mistakes. Now if you want to go slightly more offensive, you can do so by using like a bouncer subclass or even like a fighter subclass, just anything that gives you more offensive stats. Even Slayer subclass would do as well, so that you get even more damage. Now once the boss gets back up, you just have to continue to DPS him normally until he gets half HP, and then he'll go into the next phase. Alright, now he goes into the next phase. He's going to summon these pillars. Now these pillars are incredibly skinny and narrow, so it does take quite a bit of practice. As I said earlier, this is my second run, so I was very unfamiliar with this, and you can see that I'm really struggling with the parkour, and I actually missed my jump over here. You can see that I was unable to double jump before, and so I'm hovering over here. I'm super far away from the weak point. So if you are a braver, you can actually cheese this by enabling your katana combat or your brave combat, and you can just lock on and just hold down left click or your normal attack, and you'll actually fly up, as you're gonna see right here. You can see that I activate katana combat and I just float straight up. So if you do mess up like what I did, you can always use that to kind of save it. Luckily, Nick is super strong over here, so we were able to destroy it just in time. And yeah, as you can see, now it's back to normal. He goes down, we get another down phase or like a stun phase over here where we can do tons of damage, very, very straightforward. Now, when it comes to this phase, immediately just run to any corner. You can see that I'm on the top left corner. You can run to any of the corners of the map as you will be safe there. So you can see we're running into the corners. We wait for all these pillars to come up. Now, once these pillars pop up, you immediately want to get to the very top, because his rotation over here is the same every single time. So he's always going to start at the bottom row, then the middle row, then the top row. He's going to summon these little boxes. So by chilling at the top row, you're safe. You don't need to do anything until his third attack over here. We simply drop down one layer, we wait, and then we jump back up. And then right after that, he's always going to target the right side of the map. So over here, again, we just drop to the left side and we're going to be fine. So you can see right here, we just drop down, we wait for that attack. Immediately right after that attack, we jump over to the right side because he's going to hit the left side and we're going to be safe over here. Then we jump to the top. All right. So this phase is exactly the same every single time. So as long as you've seen it once and you know the rotation, you're going to be fine. All right. This part is literally free because it's the exact same rotation every single run. So, just make sure that you don't fall down, because if you do, you are likely going to die. But nevertheless, once you're done with that, this part is exactly the same. You just want to focus on the staff until you break it and he will go into a down phase. Now, this part is pretty annoying as the holes in the wall are really, really small, so you do need to navigate and parkour this really well. Now, if you are relatively tanky, you can survive 2 hits. So at least in my case with the Waker subclass, I can survive 2 hits from the wall. So it does give me a little bit of buffer, so that is pretty nice. Now over here, this is another similar attack from rank 1. It's exactly the same. In order to avoid all of those crazy explosions, you just run to the very edge of the map to where the boss is, and you can avoid 90% of his attacks. So again, we just focus on the staff. All right, super, super simple. Now this is a new attack over here. He's going to summon all of these balls and he's going to summon a wall in the middle. Now this wall is always going to rotate clockwise, all right? So make sure that you stand at the side where Moonlit is, and so you're just going to follow the wall as it spins clockwise. You're going to see this. I'm just running the wrong way. Now I'm running the right way. Do not do what I'm doing. I'm standing way too far as this wall will spin faster and faster. You want to stand relatively close to the wall. As you can see, the wall is catching up to me because I'm not running fast enough. So luckily, the wall disappeared before I got hit by it, but you just want to pay attention to that. That wall will always, 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 always rotate clockwise. So you just want to make sure that you're hugging the wall and you just follow it as it rotates clockwise, and do not touch any of those purple balls, because if you touch any of the purple balls, you get stunned and you will probably die. Now the pillars over here is a little bit different, where he summons a bunch of pillars, but a lot of them will break. Only one of them is actually going to remain, so we need to look around and notice which pillar is still here. As we can see, this pillar is still here, so we stick to it, and then we want to rotate and just follow. Now the boss rotates really quickly over here, and on top of that, he actually jukes you. He'll teleport. So you can see that he actually ended his rotation over here. So that's why I'm standing here. I was like, oh, I'm safe. But that's not actually the case, as the boss teleported over here and is doing the AoE. So I need to stand on the other side to avoid getting hit. So you can see right here, easy peasy. And again, we want to focus on the staff. Okay, super, super simple. And now this is different, where he throws the staff into the center of the map, and it's gonna do this pulses. Now during this phase, you do not want to double jump. As you can see, there is this barrier going around where if you double jump too high, you actually take damage. So you just want to stay over here and you just want to sidestep, you want to counter, you want to do whatever, as it will do a bunch of pulses. As you can see right here, it's going to pulse this out, and you can actually use it to counter as a braver. So what I do is I literally pretend this is Osu. So this is like the ring, and when this ring gets to the middle, that is when I click. So boom, you know, oh well, I missed that one, silly me, but here we go. Boom, you see? Boom. So you're literally playing Osu here, okay? So super simple, and then you just get some free DPS on the staff again, so not too hard. Now you can see that this thing raises back up, which means now you can double jump, or you can get a little bit higher. You don't want to jump higher than this bar, as if you do take extra damage, and it hurts quite a bit. Now he does this slamming attack. This is a little bit excessive, as he kind of does it a lot. You know, he slams like 6 or 8 times or something. So, you know, again, just treat it like Osu. Just counter whenever the rings hit or whenever the ring closes, and you get to do extra damage with counters. Then it's the wall again. I like to just stay on the ground for these wall because, you know, I just suck at parkouring over here. As you can see, I nearly die. I took 2 hits over there and I was able to heal myself, so I was fine, not a big deal. Now we break the boss. Again, you want to focus on the staff if it's not broken yet, because once you break the staff, he goes into another down phase. And since the boss has so much HP, you kind of want to make sure that you do break the staff and get him down as many times as possible. So he's going to go into his down phase pretty soon again, because we pretty much going to break the staff soon. We're just waiting, and here we go. We should break the staff, and look at that. We broke the staff. He's in his down phase again, so now we get to do a ton of damage to his core. So as you can see over here, again, he summons the wall. Now I'm standing at a very bad position, because remember, the wall will always rotate clockwise, which means it's moving towards me right now. So I need to quickly run to the other side so that I'm following the wall instead of the wall chasing me. And on top of that, there's a bunch of these purple balls that you do not want to touch, because again, if you touch them, you do get stunned. So I'm in a very bad position right now, so I'm kind of running, and I'm probably going to get hit by the wall unless I get incredibly lucky, which it seems like I do get lucky, as there are little holes that I can get by, so no problem there. And now we just go by and continue to attack the core, super straightforward. And this rotation is just going to continue over and over until phase 3. Now phase 3 is a little bit similar yet different, in the sense that you want to destroy all the cores. There's going to be 9 of these little pod looking things. You want to destroy all of them, but in the meantime, the boss is also going to summon a bunch of random walls as well as random cubes at you. The tell over here is when he teleports. You can see that he's teleporting right now. He'll teleport to the opposite side, and as you can see, once he teleports, he will automatically summon a wall. So once this happens, you want to make sure that you stay in a safe place. As you can see right here, well, I'm gonna get hit by this, unfortunately. Oh wow, I actually dodged that, amazing. So either way, you know, when the boss teleports, that's when you need to pay attention. My rule of thumb over here is when you're attacking these pods, just keep your camera facing the boss so you always see what the boss is doing. So the moment you see this boss teleport to the other side, just understand that he's going to do a wall, and so you're prepared for it. All right, so I just like to do this, make sure that my camera is always locked onto the boss, well, you know, looking at the boss, so that it's super easy to tell what's going on. Do not do what I'm doing right here, as it's super difficult to see what the boss is doing, and yeah, it's going to be even harder to counter all of that. Now on top of that, also keep in mind that this thing came down, so you don't want to jump above this line, as you will take extra damage. So you can see the boss teleports again. I should turn around, and look, there's a wall again. So super easy. You can see that this is super safe. There's a hole right here, there's a hole right here, and there's a hole right here. I literally just ran forward and I'm safe. So I didn't need to parkour or jump at all. Super easy. Now once we destroy all the little pods, he goes into his down phase. This part is pretty much free. Just be careful of this giant purple explosion. If you don't counter it, it can pretty much insta-kill most players. So that part you do need to be a little bit careful about. Just, you know, just don't get hit by that forehead and you will be fine. And it's just a free DPS phase over here. You're just going to keep hitting the boss until he finally goes into his down phase over here. Now, once you break it over here, a lot of players are going to think, oh, it's free now, you know, this is easy peasy. However, in rank 2, the boss does get up again if you take too long. So when it goes down into its break state over here, make sure to try to DPS as hard as you can, because if you take too long, the boss does get back up and start summoning those purple explosions that can one-shot you again. Another thing that could also defeat you is, of course, the timer over here. So you can see the boss actually gets right back up, but we defeat it before it does its first purple explosion. Easy peasy, and we cleared it. So you can see over here, our time was 13 minutes and 29 seconds, which was okay, I suppose. Considering that this was like my second run, I'll take it. And the loot, unfortunately, is absolutely garbage. As you can see right here, we got what? Add preset skill 1, dread scales, growth mint 2, growth mint 1, photon chunks, arms refiners, icicle orbs, icicle cubes. It's just a bunch of useless stuff and a bunch of LC capsules as well. So it's very disappointing that we didn't get anything good. You know, it's kind of So I don't know what Sega was thinking with the loot table over here. Like, we don't even have a new capsule or anything. So a little bit disappointed with the loot itself.
Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.